All right. And first up, we have the franchise cornerstone defenseman for the Tampa Bay Lightning, Mr. Victor Hedman.
Yeah, newly extended, and definitely not a coincidence that the Lightning turned around and handed them the exact same contract that the Nashville Predators handed Steven Stamkos. I'm sure that wasn't done by design.
Not at all. Not at all. Just it was just a coincidental numbers game there. But they also don't forget they traded Mikhail Sergachev out to Utah there, so Utah's got their franchise cornerstone defenseman as well for a while, at least to get off the ground. So
all right, let's talk about Tampa for a second. And I'm sorry to keep interrupting you because yeah, they lose Stamkos, they trade away Sergachev. The roster kind of is what it is at this point. Like obviously they add Guentzel, and that's a big time replacement for Stamkos. He is younger, but this is a team that had just had 98 points last year, and that was with Kucherov going nuclear and posting 140 points or whatever he was and finishing second in the Hart voting. I feel like of all the playoff teams in the Eastern Conference, Washington and the Islanders, I guess, are probably the most vulnerable. I don't think Tampa's that far behind them in terms of somebody could come and take their spot.
I agree, except they have Vasilevsky, and that he still plays at an all-world level. So as long as he's still playing as a top 5 goalie, then they got that. I mean, yeah, when you look, they got a strong top line, but then they just got Cam Atkinson off the scrap heap, and he's projected to be their second line right wing.
I don't think that's a good thing.
No, that's what I'm saying. But on defense, they bring McDonough back. Listen, I know he's old, but he still brings that reliable game on a second pairing. JJ Moser, who they got back from Utah in the Sergachev trade, is a solid defenseman. Herbix is supposed to take another step this year. So I mean, they're I don't think they're on the level. Actually, I mean, maybe they are on the level of the Capitals of the Islanders now, but I still think Vasilevsky kind of just keeps them out of that tier a little bit. But
right, and I would still put them above like Detroit, Buffalo, Ottawa in that Atlantic division. So, but I feel like Tampa is very much a fringe team that's like just holding on to like the last legs of what they were.
I think they've probably got maybe 2 more, because I mean, don't forget Kucherov was a Hart finalist and put that team on his back. How many more years is he gonna be able to do that? I think this is probably the last year of Tampa Bay like being like a for-sure playoff team, and then maybe next year it gets dicey. But it's a tough division in the Atlantic. You got Florida, Toronto, Boston. Parallel here are Brayden Point. We talked about the Tampa Bay Lightning before, and he's also another guy that kind of gets overlooked. Like he's never going to win like an MVP or anything like that, but he is still a bona fide top line center and makes that line hum there in Tampa.
Yeah, really good player, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on him now with Stamkos leaving. Like he's the unquestioned top center in Tampa. Like it's him and Cirelli and I don't know, I guess Nick Paul down the middle.
Yeah.
I don't even know who their fourth line center is nowadays. I don't think Tyler Mott's there anymore. So, yeah, it's really tough.
Denning.
Yeah, and like Glenn Denning's fine. He's a fourth line center.
Yeah, that's exactly what he is. And he's got Zemgus Jurgensen's on that line too, somebody else they brought in. So yeah, they made an effort to kind of fill out that bottom part a little bit.